one. MTN, everywhere you go.
10 minutes to 10 o'clock. My name is Sarah Vidiamishu with the news on Galaxy FM. With just hours to the disconnection of all unre-registered SIM cards by the Uganda Communications Commission, UCC, thousands of Ugandans are still lining up at different offices of the National Identification and Registration Authority, NIRA, to register for IDs. Last week, UCC issued a 7-day ultimatum for all SIM cards to be re-registered or risk being switched off. But for one to re-register and verify their SIM cards, they need a National Identification Number, or NIN, which millions of Ugandans still do not have. As a result, many a Ugandan have been calling for extension of the verification exercise for at least a month to allow them enough time to register for the national ID. Now, Kampala Central MP Muhammad Nsereko urges that there is need for UCC and other stakeholders to sit and at least agree on an extended timeline if the exercise is to be managed properly.
Of 7 days to inconvenience people is not practically possible for those that are in school, for those that work during certain hours, because we've not given these days as holidays. Those that are working in, let's say, factories where they enter at 6 and leave at 6, and you're opening your offices at 7 to 5, when will they be served? These are questions. Go to factories in Mukono of where people work in shifts from 7 to 5 and others come in the night shift. Who will account for those people? I was there yesterday practically helping people. The queues, there's no one taking care of the queues and the surging numbers. The place where you're registering from are small spaces. The issue we are talking about here is not that the verification exercise is wrong. The time is short. If you had sat and thought out rightly with technical people, you're looking at about 3 months.
Meanwhile, Gilbert Kadiro, the public relations officer at NIRA, says Ugandans just need to dial *197# to register, and he also reveals that for Ugandans in the diaspora, an online platform has been put in place to help them validate their SIM cards.
One thing I would want to say, NIRA is here to support. However, we all know that for purposes of facilitating this exercise, and the argument here is that it is not a re-registration of SIM card, it is a validation of SIM cards, or verification of SIM cards. Applications have been put in place. Most of us already have received this information across the country. Simply go in, dial *197#. There are other options, including SMS platforms, online platforms for those who are outside the country and have traveled and may not be here physically present to do the verification. So technologically, those considerations have been handled, and I think it does not require a person to leave their seat or their garden or their workplace to go and do this.
Government is said to lose at least 145 billion Uganda shillings in an attempt to exempt several entities from paying tax in a bid to enhance economic development. The revenue enhancement measures for financial year 2017-18 by the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development will ensure some gains in terms of revenue, but also losses. It is estimated that 80 billion shillings will be lost for granting a tax holiday to Bujagali hydropower project up to 2033 as a measure to reduce the cost of power supplied by the project to the national grid. Another 33 billion shillings will be lost for reintroducing exemption on capital investments outside the radius of 50 kilometers from Kampala, while 7 billion shillings will be lost when the ministry removes import duty on imports or penstock pipes for use in the hydroelectricity power project. This move is aimed at incentivizing investment in the hydropower project. At least 7 billion shillings will be lost in exempting value-added tax VAT on animal feeds and premises, where removal of VAT on crop extension services will cost the country 2 billion shillings. The move is aimed at lowering the cost of crop extension services. 1 billion shillings will be lost on exempting irrigation equipment from VAT. Two operators may be exempted from taxes, and this will cost the country 4 billion shillings, while removal of VAT on solar batteries and lanterns will also cost the government 2 billion shillings. Removal of excise duty on confectionaries to reduce smuggling and under-declaration will cost the government 4 billion shillings, but the government stands to gain 500 billion shillings in the tax enhancement strategy, with 197 billion coming from an enhanced revenue for the standard gauge railway 30 billion as a result of reinstating VAT on wheat grain, and 32 billion on the change of the excise duty regime for beer, wine, spirits and soft drinks, among others. Another 50 billion shillings will also be gained from reinstating the 10% import duty on crude palm oil. Parliament's Agriculture Committee wants the distribution of seedlings under Operation Wealth Creation (OWC) stopped. The legislators, who were recently on a fact-finding mission in several districts, say the government may not be receiving value for money on the distribution of coffee, citrus, tea and other seedlings. The committee chairperson, Padia Woman MP Lawila Otekayot, says they found many anomalies, including wastage of seedling procured by the National Agriculture Advisory Services (NADS) Secretariat and distributed by the OWC.
We have realized this issue of varying inputs, seedlings across the country, from one corner of the country to the other corner of the country, is causing us a lot of problems. And one of our recommendations will be that must stop with immediate effect. If farmers within a particular sub-region require seedlings, say for mangoes, for citrus, those seedlings must be raised within that locality. This will help us to control the spread of diseases.
Otekayot was chief guest Tuesday at a meeting organized by the Civil Society Advocacy Budget Group, CSBAG. Now, former Agriculture Minister Victoria Sech-Toleko, during the same meeting, expressed fear that the country could witness a widespread distribution of pests and diseases unless the seedling distribution process is streamlined.
Honorable members, I beg you, I know you want the vote, but if you want to be voted in and be voted in, make sure that you protect your constituencies. Don't allow anybody, even if they are distributing free things, to bring seedlings which you don't know where they came from. The other day, I nearly had a heart attack when I was in West Nile, and the seedlings arrived from Kumi. And I'm like, West Nile is West Nile. It is geographically separated from the rest of Uganda. So why are you bringing diseases and whatever unknown things to West Nile? Can't they themselves produce seedlings? Let us not handle agriculture as an emergency. Can we prepare for it?
Elsewhere, 3 white men were killed and another wounded when a black gunman opened fire in California in a suspected race attack, police have said. Corey Al-Muhammad shot 16 rounds in 90 seconds in the shooting spree on Tuesday, said Police Chief Jerry Dyer. He shouted, "God is great," in Arabic as police arrested him, but this was a hate crime, not terrorism, Mr. Dyer believed. Mr. Muhammad, who is 39, was also wanted for the murder of a security guard outside a motel in the city last week. A very good morning. That's all we had for you.